Welcome, welcome, welcome to On Fire to Inspire. I am your host, Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. I want to thank you so much for joining us this beautiful Tuesday evening. You could have been doing anything else and you could have been anywhere else, but you chose to spend it with us. And for that, we're totally grateful. Happy New Year to you. This is our first show of the year. So, welcome, welcome, welcome to 2025. And as we're moving into this year, we're moving in making sure that we're thriving and we're fully alive, right? With that said, how are we serving us? Okay. So I will thank our sponsors toward the end of the show versus the beginning because I guess she's making time for us tonight. Double book, double. Hey, when you're a hot commodity, everybody's reaching out to you. But do me a favor before we bring her on. For those of you who are in Facebook land, I need y'all to hit that share button. If you are in LinkedIn or YouTube, however, I want you to share, tag, do whatever you need to do to get some people in here on here because they need to hear how they are. It's time for us to make sure we're serving ourselves in self-care and up leveling our self-care. Without further ado, I want to welcome our guest tonight, Natalie Warren. Welcome, welcome, welcome back to On Fire to Inspire. How
Hey,
are you?
I am good. I am glad to be back to see you continuing to do this work. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for joining us. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary last month.
Yes, exciting. 10 is exciting.
Yes, 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 yes. So, Natalie, for those who don't know you, I want you to share with them, introduce yourself to them.
Wow, thank you for allowing me to do that. So, I am a certified breathwork facilitator. I am a retreat leader. Aaliyah, I get to be a speaker, a psychotherapist. I just love all things personal development and wellness. And I get to do that in many ways. And that's the part of me that does the work. But I'm just a mom, a wife. I love doing things that are creative. I'm intuitive. I love just helping people. Yeah.
Great, great, great. And I'm actually over here trying to make sure I'm sharing it in all of the other capacities.
Yes,
And
I got to
so,
get this out. Yes.
yeah, so it's actually streaming live, but I'm putting it in my personal groups as well for those who have not taken the time to hop on over. So tell us what the topic of the power of the breath, elevate your self care means to you. What does that mean to Natalie?
Mm. I think sometimes we are disconnected from our breath and we haven't been taught the power of breath, right? So for me, the power of the breath is the very first gift that God gave you. It's the very first gift that He gave you. It is your companion for life. The very first thing you take and the very last thing that you take is the breath. And so we don't always access the power of it because of so many factors, and we can talk about those factors. And so when a woman is able to, and or a man, because breathing is for us all, are able to access the power of the breath, I really believe they can elevate their self care. They can take this ability to care for self to another level.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what got you into this? I know you're already a counselor, you do therapy and things of that nature, but what got you into the breathwork facilitation as well?
Mhm. I often tell the story, Aaliyah, that it found me. So, like you just described, I was doing counseling and I noticed that sometimes people would get stuck. They would know it here, but they still weren't able to take action, right? So it was a disconnect there. And I was thinking, okay, we're working with the mind. I have been doing that work for so long, but now we got to work with the body because I started to learn that the body holds stuff. We think that if we haven't talked about it or dealt with it or if we're stressed, we think it just goes away, but it sits in this body. And so I had an event at, oh, this was 2018 perhaps. And the lady said to me, Natalie, something shifted in me. And she said, I think it was the breathing. So you were there when we did Whisper in Your Ear and we did a breathing self-forgiveness meditation. And she said something happened and I don't know what it was. So it started to leave those little signs. But what ended up happening was one day I was sitting on my computer, like some of us are doing, we're just minding our business, and I get this download from God that says, become a breathwork facilitator. I had never heard of it or to know how to do it, but that led me on a path to not just help people. I have benefited so much from learning how to properly breathe.
Yes, absolutely. And I think so many of us, we're on that rat race of life and doing so many things. I know for me, I'm such a multitasker that I have to tell myself to slow down and focus on one thing. It's okay to focus on one thing. Take off the Superwoman hat and the cape and just do with this one thing and focus.
Right. Right.
So how can we shift from being all things, into
Mhm.
just being in that moment and breathing and enjoying and being present, living in the present?
Yes, I love that. I love that because the breath is a teacher. So what you said is so vital in the sense that the only moment that you can breathe into is this moment. Like, try, if you will, to breathe into tomorrow. Like, nobody can do that. Or try, if you will, to breathe into yesterday, right? So, what the breath teaches you is it teaches you the power of being present with that breath. And so I help people to do that. What we do is we do this technique called breath watching. So all you simply do is watch your breath and you follow the breath. You would notice what it feels like when it comes into your nose. What does it feel like? Where does it go in the body? Is it fast? Is it slow? And so it teaches you to focus on one thing because multitasking teaches you to do what? Focus on a whole lot of stuff.
Right.
And we tell ourselves the lie that we do it well. I do this well. I work better under pressure. No, you have conditioned your brain to not focus. That's what you have done.
Right.
So the
Right.
breath teaches you how to actually stay with it moment by moment. And it's a beautiful practice if you're when you're able to do it.
Honey, y'all hear that, multitaskers? We have conditioned our brain not to focus, and that's so true.
Hmm.
Oh my
Right.
goodness. Now, so you said we need to focus on our breath. That's the first thing to help us get focused in one place and being able to be here and present.
Right. Right. Right.
All right. What's
Yeah.
next?
Well, because here's the thing I was going to add. What the breath does is it also tells you about your life. So it becomes a mirror. It becomes a mirror. Most people don't realize it, which is why it's important when I talked about elevating your self care, because it's going to tell you how you show up in life. Let me give you an example. Once we start breathing, and some people will say, Natalie, I can't hold my breath long. Then I will say to them, is it because your mind is telling you you got to keep going, or you got to do something, or you can't rest, or you can't? Like, it'll tell us exactly how you're showing up in life. Or some people will say, Natalie, I have trouble taking in air. Okay. So are you having trouble receiving in life? Do you have trouble receiving help? Do you have trouble taking in feedback? The breath is going to teach you about your life. And so it becomes this level of self care because then you're saying, this is an area of my life that I need to work on. My breath is teaching me. And that's why it becomes powerful because it's a teacher at that point. And then it's like, oh, that's why I'm having trouble with self care. That's why I'm having trouble with caring for myself.
Wow. That's deep.
Mm.
That's really deep because if you can't breathe in and hold it, it's you said it's hard to receive. That person
It's
is
likely that you
jumping.
have trouble receiving in life. Like receiving help, receiving feedback, receiving compliments. Yeah.
Mhm. And a lot of people who are used to being that giver, it is hard for them to receive. So that would be, like, wow. Okay.
Right.
What's the next thing, Natalie? Look,
Yes.
I'm you helping us already. Y'all hear this, multitaskers? I hope y'all taking notes.
Yes. What I love too about the breath is like a remote control. And so many of us, as we think about self care, is a lot of us are dealing with stress, right? And the body starts to release hormones that make us feel activated, makes us feel overwhelmed, on edge, all of those uncomfortable feelings. When we access the breath, it pushes the remote control in the brain to tell you to be able to relax, to tell you to be able to calm down, to feel really grounded. And this is important because sometimes we can do self care, but we still aren't at peace. We're still not grounded, right? You go get your nails done, you get your feet done, and it feels good in that moment, but then you still don't feel rested. You still don't feel calm. You still don't feel like you can drop your shoulders, right? And so the breath can help you to do that, which will elevate self care because now it's not just I went and had pampering. It's like I feel like a new person. It's that I can go and rest. I can close my eyes at night and my mind isn't racing. And so this is why it elevates self care because you can access that. In addition, breathing simply helps you to sleep better. I'll have people to say to me, Natalie, I slept like a baby. I slept like a baby. I had mental clarity. I was able to think for a moment. My brain wasn't racing all day. And I actually could make decisions. Why? Because the more you're breathing, guess what? You're sending more oxygen to the brain. And now you can think clearly because now you have oxygen going in the places that it needs to be. We were talking earlier offline, metabolism is huge for women at this age. Our metabolism starts to slow down, right? Men's as well, but they just have it in a different way. But when you're breathing properly, Aaliyah, what happens is you increase your metabolism. And for me as a woman who is aging, I walk by the refrigerator and gain weight. I don't know what's going on with my metabolism. I'm like, before I could eat the whole refrigerator and nothing would happen, right?
Right, right.
But breathing can slow down that, I mean, speed up your metabolism. It's so many benefits from breathing.
Wow, that one alone is like that and sleeping.
Hmm.
Because a
Right,
lot of people are, the mind is racing, so they can't calm their body down enough to even get adequate rest. They're sleeping, but they're not resting. So
right,
they wake up exhausted.
right, right. Exactly.
So tell us more. Whatever you want to tell us about this.
Well, the truth is, many of us will say, so some people say, well, Natalie, why do I need to be taught how to breathe? Right? Like, I'm breathing, right? We're all alive, which essentially means we're breathing. Here's the trick, though, Aaliyah. Many of us are breathing very shallow. So, you know how
Mhm.
you watch a suspense movie, y'all probably can relate, and you're sitting on the edge of the couch and you're like, waiting for what's about to happen next, right? That's how many of us breathe. We breathe very shallow or we breathe from our chest. And so we don't access the diaphragm. The diaphragm is going to expand the lungs, expand the rib cage, allow you to take in as much oxygen as you need. And so the power of that breath, which is going to elevate your self care, is that you are going to be able to take intentional breaths without these shallow holding breath moments. And that allows us to drop our shoulders. Most of us, 80% of us, carry stress and anxiety in our shoulders. We feel it,
Yes.
right? In our shoulders, in our neck. The breath is going to access the ability to relax those muscles. So I tell people you can't afford not to learn to breathe, right? Because we are not accessing this beautiful gift that is not just physical. The breath is emotional, the breath is mental, and guess what? The breath is spiritual. It is the breath of life that you take in every time you intentionally take in that breath. That we can then say God is closer than the breath. So when I say to myself, God is closer than the breath, I take in that breath and I go, wow, he's closer than this. It just really helps you in all areas of your life, which is the elevation.
That's amazing. I mean, being able, because when people think about self care, they automatically think about going and get a massage or going to spend some money. You don't think about an element of just truly just breathing,
Right,
you know, and truly breathing correctly.
right, right. I love it because it's that self care. You don't have to pay for it. But you know what I also say? You can't leave it at home. You know, sometimes you go, oh, I left my favorite. No, it goes with you everywhere you go. You can't leave it. You can't run out of it. Um, it's always with you. It's this beautiful companion.
And I like that. I like that. You said it's a beautiful companion and you could take it everywhere you go. I love that. You
Mhm.
don't have to worry about the packaging to take it in. You don't have to
Right.
worry about if it's too big for your bag. If you don't have a carry on.
Right, right. I've outgrown this. I can't wear it anymore. None of that.
Yes, yes, I love it. Absolutely. So, how do people do classes or how does this thing work? How do you teach people how to breathe?
Beautiful. Yes, yes. I do it in many ways. One of the ways is I host monthly free workshops to teach people how to breathe. And I take them on a journey. So we learn some techniques because there are actually breath patterns that you can do to give you either an emotional release, to give you energy. So I teach them how to, if they need energy, here are the breath patterns that you can use. If you're overwhelmed and you're stressed, here is a breath pattern that you can use. And then in the workshops, I take them through about a 30, 40-minute journey where I'm actually beautifully helping them to either embrace something, to let go of something, to to open themselves up to something, and I take them through that journey together. And so that is something I offer once a month. I started doing it last year for free because I really just believe in the power of the breath. And so that's one of the opportunities. Sometimes I'm able to do it one-on-one. I've been fortunate to be able to do it with corporations to help them and their teams and their um, individuals, employees. So just beautiful ways to be able to share it.
And you have one coming up soon.
I do, and I'm excited. Yes, Saturday. Saturday is the 11th of January, and it's at 10 a.m. It's virtual, so you don't have to do anything but just show up. Most people think they have to know something because our brain tells us, I don't know how to do this. Am I going to do it right? You don't need to know. You can't mess it up.
Right,
As long
right.
as you breathe, that's it's going to work for you. But it is a virtual experience. And this month's theme, since we're in a new year, is
Mhm.
celebrating a new, begin anew, celebrating you. And so we're starting the year off with clarity, with focus, with peace, with joy, whatever it is. And then we're going to celebrate who you already are, that you don't have to become anything else for to be celebrated because of who you are. We're going to celebrate that. So that is the Just Breathe with Me session this Saturday.
All right. And how do they register for this awesome?
Yes, yes. I have, I'll share the website in this link, but also they can go to my website, which is Awaken to Power, the number two, Awaken to Power, the number two.com. And they'll be able to get the links for that or any social media platform. They'll be able to find access to Just Breathe with Natalie.
Awaken, the number two, power.com.
Yes.
All right. I typed it in so it could go on to all of the streaming, all the places we're streaming right now as well.
Thank you.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I know you're double booked. We're not going to hold you. Anything else you want to tell us that's going to just be pertinent to making sure we're breathing?
Yes, yes. One of the things I teach people to do, the very first thing in the morning, if you will, just take 5 breaths. Be intentional. I do it before I open my eyes. I place my hand over my heart as a reminder that I'm here, that I'm alive, that I have purpose. And I take in those 5 breaths, just a moment to pause and remind myself that I am here. I am here. So I invite you to do that. Start there. The last thing, if you want to do it, you can do it at night as well. Make that the last thing you do before you close your eyes is to take 5 breaths. Give yourself the space to breathe. And that would be what I would leave with you.
I love that. Give yourself the space to breathe because many of us aren't.
Mhm.
Let me put that on there too. I've been trying to dictate for you. I was trying to be my own because I don't see my note takers typing stuff in tonight. Space to breathe.
Yes,
Yes, yes, yes, yes.
yes.
But now we truly, truly appreciate you. So they can actually follow you and all of this on all the different social media platforms. How?
As Natalie Warren, and that's with an O.
All right, and they can visit your website at awaken the number two power.com.
Yes, yes. And thank you, Aaliyah, so much, girl. I appreciate you and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for making time for us because I know you were already booked with something else. Making the time for us to show us how to up level and show us that we're even with the part of the topic for this month for your thing celebrating who you already are because so many
Mhm.
people are like, well, I haven't accomplished, but you've already made it through so much that many haven't. So thank you even for that.
Yes, yes, yes. We'll take care. We'll talk.
All right, and I'll see you on Saturday.
Yes, yes. Bye for now.
Bye. All right, y'all. So if any of you missed any of that interview, she is double booked tonight, so we were able to get her in. But you can actually follow her as Natalie Warren, Natalie with the O, on social media, and her website is awaken the number two power.com. Y'all, this is going to be my first time taking the breathwork class as well. It's going to be this coming Saturday at 10 a.m. It lasts about an hour. Um, but she's teaching us to breathe because many of us are not breathing. And so if we're breathing better, many of us will see it affect other areas of your life. You'll be able to sleep better. You'll be able to probably rest and relax because many of us are just jumping and moving. And it's time for us to live, be excited about life, living in the moment, being present in the present, and just enjoying our lives, right? I said I was going to thank our sponsors at the end. So thank you so much to sensationalgalore.com. Y'all, they keep us going and rocking with the body butters uh, and the body, Lord have mercy, scrubs and the bonnets and so many things. And that's sensational-galore.com. If you are an entrepreneur or an aspiring entrepreneur and you have not already connected with them, you want to go with mombizboss.org. A bunch of moms, multiple operational managers that are rocking the entrepreneurship game. You can learn from each other, glean from each other, and just it's so many different facets that you can learn from. And they tell you about different grants and different things that's available. So check them out, mombizboss.org. Um, if you don't already have copies of my books, you can go out to onfiretoinspire.com, or you can check them out on any of the different places. The coloring book is out on walmart.com, target.com, barsandnoble.com, as well as all the other outlets. Now um, it's not on Amazon because it is a coloring book. Not the virtual part. You can purchase it from a physical copy, but an electronic copy you can't because Amazon doesn't have that option available yet. All right, y'all. So we'll see y'all same time, same place next week. Remember to take care of you as you're moving into 2025. We've already moved over here. Now it's time to make sure that we are operating from the best capacity that we already have. So with that said, make sure you're putting your mask, your oxygen mask on first, just like they tell you on airplanes. You got to take care of you before you can take care of anybody else. If you have not already, you can go out and sign up for the class that she is hosting on this coming Saturday. And sign up for the class. It's 10 a.m. It's free. She does them once a month, free classes. You want to go ahead and jump on and take advantage of this because there's so many health benefits of that alone. All right, y'all. Let's see y'all same time, same place. Thank you for joining us. I am Aaliyah, the Purpose Midwife. Y'all share this with someone else and be a blessing into their life. Let them get signed up for that free class. See you next week. Blessings to you.